Hello engineers, welcome back to the Create mod. Now, what is one thing us engineers do best? Better than anyone else? Overcomplicate things. So what are we gonna do today? Overcomplicate mining. Let's build a drill. Alright, before we can get started on our drill, we need to learn about the minecart assembler. This device, crafted with logs, alloys, and redstone, can transform normal minecarts into minecarts holding various contraptions. So let's learn how they work. This machine is unique because it needs to be placed on some kind of rail. As you can see, the top has a little bit of sticky stuff on it and an arrow showing you which direction it's facing. Now, if you send a minecart through it, nothing will happen. That's because we need to turn it on and build something on top. So if you put something on top of the sticky pad here, glue it all together, and send the minecart through, it will convert into a minecart contraption. So this is a type of entity that has the machinery on it. If you want to move this entity around, you can easily shift right click it with a wrench, and it will go into a handy dandy minecart contraption in your inventory. Now, these contraptions work just like any other Create contraption. If it's moving, mechanical parts will be active, like the drill. You can attach inventories to it, and you can use portable interfaces to get things in and out of it without tearing it down. So now that we understand how the minecart assembler works, let's get to building that drill. Alright, in order to make this thing, we're going to need about 10 or so powered rails, 10 or so redstone blocks, 10 or so andesite casings, 11 drills, a mechanical plow, 2 deployers, 6 barrels, and obviously a minecart. In addition to that, we're also going to need a wrench just in case things go wrong, and some super glue to glue it all together. So the first thing I'm going to do is place about 4 redstone blocks onto the ground, and then throw some powered rails on top. We're going to put down our cart assembler, like so, and then it's time to start building on top of it. The first thing we're going to add is the drill section and the part that's going to lay down track in front of us. So the first part is some deployers. Now, these 2 deployers have to be in this orientation, with this deployer being higher up and closer to the minecart assembler. It's going to be deploying our powered rail. So it needs an empty block of space in between the deployer block itself and the block where the rail is going to be placed. The second deployer is going to be deploying our redstone blocks. So that way, our rails have something to build on top of. This needs to be a block lower than the one deploying track and in front of it. So that way, the blocks get deployed first, and then the track goes on the block. Next, we have our array of drills. Now, you don't need to do a 3x3. You could feasibly do a 2x2 or something similar. But for sake of this build, I'm doing a 3x3 because it looks cooler. But I'm going to need another drill down here. This is important because it's going to break the blocks down here and then put in redstone blocks. So that way our powered rails get powered so the minecart keeps moving. So that is the front part. Now, this feasibly could work. There's only one issue. We would run out of redstone blocks and powered rails. So we should pick them up somehow. If we put 2 blocks back like this, we can then put a block down to put a mechanical plow on it. Now, why a mechanical plow? Because the mechanical plow can pick up rails. And then we're going to put another block here and another mechanical drill to pick up the redstone blocks. Now the final thing is you need to add some kind of storage. So that way, A, our deployers here have somewhere to deploy the blocks and redstone rails, and B, somewhere to store all of that cobblestone. So for me, I'm just going to put some barrels on top of here. And this is my tunnel bore. So here's what it looks like from the side. Here's what it looks like from the front. Once again, very important, you need to make sure to glue it all together. But make sure not to glue the blocks to the ground itself. Then you need to give the higher deployer a filter of powered rails, and the lower deployer a filter of redstone blocks. Before you assemble it, put some redstone blocks and some powered rails in one of the storage units. There's one last very important thing before you assemble your minecart contraption. If you look at the cart assembler here, there is click and hold to edit the movement mode. What we want is we want to lock the rotation, because what might happen is the tunnel or the drill head might start turning. These will start placing tracks and rails in unwanted positions and it will just get stuck. So make sure it is on lock rotation. Put a minecart down, watch it come to life, and if we give it a little push, we'll get started. So as you can see, it is placing down blocks and rails for the minecart to move along, and then also pick up those blocks and rails. And because we put storage on here, the blocks and rails are going back into the storage barrels. Once we hit the wall, the drills will begin to dig into the wall itself. As you can see, our little minecart contraption is self-sufficiently digging through the rock and collecting all of the resources. But what about if it encounters water? Need not. This minecart contraption, because of how the deployers essentially deploy the blocks, the water seems to unaffect the minecart, as you can see. As you can see, our minecart contraption has been able to brave the water patch, and is continuing even despite it. But what about lava? Fear not. The minecart track is able to continue despite lava. There is one consideration, though, when it comes to the lava. Any items that it mines in the lava patch will be destroyed by the lava. So you might lose a bit of resources as it digs through the lava, but the contraption itself will be fine. So yeah, there's our automatic mining drill. All you have to do is make sure to empty out the storage, or else stuff's just going to start piling up on the floor. And if you ever need to move it, remember you can always shift right-click it with a wrench to pick it up as an item and then move it to wherever you need it. So thank you for watching this little tutorial on how to build your own mining drill. So that way you can automate your mining using the Create mod. I hope you found it useful, and if you want to see more contraptions with the Create mod, I suggest checking out the various Artificer SMP series I've done on this channel. In there, we use the Create mod as well as a bunch of other mods to get up to some fun stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later.